Welcome back. Yes, indeed, Mr. Chukwuma Ezeala joins us. He's a legal practitioner, also observes elections for the African Bar Association. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Well, let us start off with this aspect of it, because we've spoken about a number of issues about these elections all through the weekend, today, up to now. Security. I mean, the last time when it was the PDP that was in the ruling party, people complained about them using the role of security. Now, you've got the APC, and then there's a complaint about the role of security. Can we ever rid ourselves of this complaint?
I think at this stage, we need to go back to the drawing board to plan. Because the bane of African societies and African things is because we don't plan. We need to go back to look at what had been the problems. For instance, we had said that there is no way military people will come close to the voting areas and close to the collation centers. It's been there since 1999. We said they shouldn't come. But what do? Prior to elections, there are usually reports. There are reports by observers. There are observers that track violence. What have we made of those reports? Before elections, the election body should look at these results, because when you look at the violent areas, they are constant, they are consistent. So when you look at them, how do they come up? Have we taken the pains to commission people? INEC should take the pains, commission people to look at violent areas, so that before the elections, you would have taken care of them. During the elections, you will know where they are going to come up from. You will also take care of them. If there are areas that police cannot take care of, then you now know that either the military or a bit more,
Let me bring this perspective then, because you're also a lawyer.
Yes.
In an election scenario, who is the arresting authority?
The person in charge of elections in any polling booth is the presiding officer. He is the person that will give instructions to the police to arrest any offender at the polling area. So you see that the work is to be done by both the INEC and the security agencies, in this case, the police.
But there are cases that military persons are arresting certain individuals on election day.
And that is an aberration. It is wrong.
You can't arrest and hand over to the police. And you see, because you're a soldier and you see someone fomenting trouble, you stand idly by and you say it's wrong.
If somebody is committing felony, because in this case some of them are felony, you can arrest. Any person, including the military, can arrest. Arrest is an issue which every Nigerian citizen can do. So we are not saying, or I am not saying too, that a military or even an individual cannot arrest any person, but it is upon the person committing any offense before you, or a justice of peace, you can order for an arrest.
But who orders for the arrest? The citizens, or?
No, I said any person. If it's felony, any person can arrest.
So who determines what's felony and then make the arrest?
There are offenses if somebody is carrying gun. If somebody is beating somebody up in a very serious way.
I mean,
yes.
If somebody is carrying a gun,
yes.
a citizen who's without gun,
if you think you can do that if you think it's possible for you. No, the point I'm making is that the military can arrest at that point. Every other citizen who can. I will tell you something. There was a day, my younger brother saw somebody with gun robbing somebody, and he went to arrest the person. It was a very dangerous thing, we told him. Very, very dangerous. But if you think you can disarm the person and arrest the person, fine and good. We will say good luck to you, So, but I think we have to go back to the drawing board. INEC will have to look at the remaining elections. Look at what is happening. All elections are inconclusive.
You're painting the ideal situation. I recall that just before some of the elections in 2011 and 2015, we had taken pains to draw a diagram of what voters should expect at the polls, how the polls ought to be conducted at the polling stations, as it were. Well, it would seem now that those were very ideal situations, and that doesn't seem to be obtaining here. Why do you think that is so?
It is the operators of the system. One is that the citizens and in many areas don't have confidence in the election management body. sometimes it's not like they are going out to do something wrong. Sometimes it's also an issue of competence. You know, management is not an easy thing. You have to create confidence for the parties, not necessarily the political parties, but the electorates. There has to be confidence. If they have that confidence that you're going to do justice, if they have the confidence that you know what you're going to do, you know, you would have restored a kind of confidence from the people. And when you do that, you have reduced violence. That is one, especially the spontaneous ones. So when you also deploy people who are trained, you have also reduced violence because they will be masters of the program they are going to undertake.
But you said something very key here at the start, telling us that some of these places are known violent spots or places or communities during elections. So it will seem as if we won't be wrong when we say perennial trouble spots in elections. You cannot say for sure that this is the culture of the people. There must be something that we haven't been able to unearth that is the causal effect of violence in those places. Elections definitely will still hold in Rivers State. What are those likely things you think we haven't been able to put our fingers on that is the cause of these violence?
Yes, the root cause of the violence is the robbery going on in the governments. First is if we don't eliminate corruption in governance. So you see that the key to the purse of the state or of the federal government is very important to each group. So if, for instance, like we believe that the president is going to do, if, for instance, he decides to say, I'm going to stem corruption across board, not just at the national government, but also at the states, to the extent that you cannot, just because you're a governor, be stealing the state to stupor. And you need your House of Assembly, or you need the National Assembly to continue. So once you're able to reduce that one, you see that the attraction to the state as a governor, the volume of money you spend to get into elective positions will a bit decline. It will go down a bit. So the whole thing, it will no longer be everything is at stake. You can kill 20 people, you can kill 50 people because you want to take over the states. That is one. When you do that one, when you're doing that one, then you come back along with what type of management body do you want? That is the election management body. If, for instance, there is no bias and there is competence on their part, you have taken that one into situation. Then, and part of the things the election management body should be able to do is, when they are planning, they find out that this particular local government, there are issues. And even in that local government, it wouldn't be the entire local government normally, because we don't really have culture of violence anywhere in Nigeria. You will see that in a particular local government, you have many polling booths, you have many wards, and in each of these wards, sometimes maybe 3 or 4 areas that are areas of violence. But you must have studied to find out these are 3 areas. You separate them. You keep a tab on them. You have meetings with the security agencies, and you're able to have a map to say these are areas that are problems.